Yep.
You sign?
No. You got,
Sure.
somebody, oh, Carrie needs to sign it.
All right, thank you.
All righty, I call this meeting to order. Let's start with pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray, please. Father in heaven, we're so thankful for this day. We're thankful for this opportunity that we've been given to make the decisions for the city. We ask that you be with us this morning in everything that we talk about. And it's through the name of your son, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I will make a motion to have Dustin Schmidt chair the meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mayor Elkins is at a mayor's conference this week, and so he's absent today.
Okay.
Pardon? I say, yeah.
Okay, I'll start with the, you guys all received the minutes.
Yes.
Did you see we have 2 minutes, 2 meetings to approve, the special meeting and the regular November meeting? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, you guys also received the claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, since mayor's not here, you're up first, Jason.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
First thing should have told everybody to bring their own donuts because it might be a while, but, the first thing I want to do is the annual bid stuff. I know last meeting we had just we opened them basically at the meeting. I've had some time to review those. Basically what we'll do is, and I think Tom said we have to make a motion for each one to accept each one separately. So we'll start out with item A, which is crushed stone. My recommendation to the board would be that we would go with Cave Quarries as the vendor for stone for the city. Basically what I did was I just went through these line item by line item and tried to establish what was going to be the best price for the city. Because some of them vary. Some Moser might have been low in one product and Cave in another product, but I looked at the product that we use, the city uses the most, 8s, 53s, that type of thing, and looked at those. So with that, my recommendation would be that the city accept Cave Quarries as the crushed stone item A vendor for the 2026.
I will make a motion to accept Cave Quarries for the crushed stone bid.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Okay, then moving on to item B, hot mix. This is basically asphalt that the street department goes to a plant and picks up and then uses it throughout the city, whether it be through our hot box or through a dump truck. You can see on there, E&B Paving, last year was the first year they started bidding on this. They bid again this year. You can see their price. Their price is basically $30 a ton cheaper than the one I'm going to recommend. And the reason that last year that I didn't recommend E&B, and the same reason I'm not going to this year, is to get that asphalt, we have to drive to Corden. That's where their plant's at. You take in travel time, you take in wear and tear on your vehicles, you take in the fact that by the time you get back here with asphalt, it's cooled off quite a bit. It makes it less pliable and workable. I would love to have that price. I'm not gonna tell you different. But I just don't feel that it's feasible for the city to have to do that. That's a long, I mean, that you're looking at least a 3-hour round trip. You know, by the time you leave here to get up there, get filled and get back, you know, you're spending 3 hours of labor. And then, like I said, the expense of the vehicle too. So my recommendation would be to use J.H. Rudolph for item B, hot mix. Any questions on that?
I'll make a recommendation to approve J.H. Rudolph.
I'll second that.
We got a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Okay, then moving on to item C, which is bituminous material and milling surface services. That's basically the company coming in, milling a street and paving it back. Again, this one's very, very tough to determine a winner on this one, because if you look at those prices, they go back and forth. J.H. Rudolph is low on one item, Calcar Paving's low on one item. They go back and forth like that. Again, I used numbers from previous projects that we've done. Davin with Cash Wagner give me the amount of asphalt that we laid last year it was through community crossings, but it was still the tonnage that we did and the type of material that it was, whether it be base, whether it be surface. So running with those numbers and looking at the patching prices, my recommendation to that would be that the city would accept Calcar Paving as our annual bid paving contractor for item C, bituminous material and milling services.
Is their availability about the same?
Yes,
Yeah, being able to get to your job?
yes.
Okay.
That's a good point. Both of them are, you know, relatively local. They service us well. You know, we had that project out on Medical Arts that we finished this past month. Calcar was our annual bid paving contractor who technically should have done that project. They couldn't get to it. So I went to J.H. Rudolph, who was going to be in town finishing up the other community crossing projects. They gave me a price to do it. And then I also got a hold of Jaminski Paving to find out whether they could do it. Both of the two that couldn't do it both sent me emails saying, thank you for the invitation, but we don't have the ability and the time to get it done this year like we wanted it. J.H. Rudolph did. So in all honesty, if you look at the prices, J.H. Rudolph's prices to do that project were cheaper than what our annual bid prices were. So we ended up saving money anyways. But, so anyhow, yeah, that would, they're both very readily available. So we need a motion for that one, I guess.
I'll make that motion for Calcar Paving for item C.
I'll second that.
We got a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
All right, then moving on to the last item, item D, which is fuel. Basically, that one's kind of a cut and dried dollar item. They run through their prices and tell us for diesel fuel and gasoline, whether it be delivered to the shop or the office of the departments in the city, or whether it be going to the gas pumps and picking it up. My recommendation there, number wise, as easy as was Synergy. So for line item D, fuel, my recommendation to the board would be that the city go with Synergy as the fuel supplier for the city.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Got a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Okay, any questions on any of that, the annual bid stuff? Nope. Tom, are we good with that then?
Yeah.
Got everything? Okay. All right, moving on then to my report. Any questions on the report? Number 6 there, like I said, we did get, Medical Arts Drive project complete. Got that, Rudolph came in, did a good job. They got it all, they milled down 12 inches. We went in and put 6 inches of stone in. After that, we did get the stone put in. We were going to asphalt it, and then we got a pretty good rain. Pushed back the asphalt date, also softened up the subgrade. So working with J.H. Rudolph, and Cash Wagner was there. We made the determination that we would have J.H. Rudolph use one of their transfer buggies. Basically, I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but you see them a lot out on the interstate and the highway when they're laying asphalt. You basically dump a whole dump truck in it, and then the next one backs up. And basically what it allows them to do on the interstate and stuff is to keep moving. They never have to stop. Okay. Basically what it did for us was it kept all those, what did we say, Davin? It was 13 trucks, I think. 13 to 15 asphalt trucks were going to have to back down in that subgrade that we had put in. And it was bad enough that it wasn't going to hold up. It was going to rut it up. So I made the determination that we would use this buggy. Got with Rudolph. They give us a price of $3,600 to bring that buggy in from West Virginia. They brought it in, used it. We had no problems whatsoever. When they paved it, the paving machine, I was there the whole time they paved. There was one area the paving machine might have went down about an inch into the subgrade, but the rest of it finished perfect, just like we had hoped that it would do. So there will be a $3,600 extra cost to that project. But we did get the asphalt in. It's up to grade now. It will stay like that till, like we said in the previous meeting, till those apartments are built. Then we'll come back in and we'll mill it all off and put surface on the whole road. And it'll basically be back to a good street then. So that was the update on that. We'll move. The one thing I forgot on the report was the railroad grant that we had gotten. That is complete. I'm working on getting reimbursed from NDOT for that. That was 100% paid for by NDOT, so there was no cost for the city for that. That was road markings for all the railroad crossings, along with new signs, railroad crossing signs that were put up. So that one will be done and off of the list. You should have had a change order in your packet from Jaminski Contracting. This is for work that they're doing on the community crossing project out on 10th and Geiger. Basically what that was, long story short, when they went around the corner there, tearing out the asphalt to get ready to pour the concrete, getting ready to pour the new concrete, they found a very bad subgrade problem. They dug down. We put, Davin, how much twos and stuff?
Put down like 60 tons of twos. We got a layer of geogrid, got 5 foot or more 53s. It essentially never stopped. We went down 2 feet and you could still bury a 4-foot utility probe with one hand. And you could dance on it like there's no surface cracking of the concrete besides one longitudinal crack that wasn't even over this whole spot, which is odd. The biggest cracks in the area were up by Steinkamp's drives, and that was due to probably a lot of impacts from, crossing the road and everything. That there was also the water service to the building on the south side of the road had 4 potential leaks. We figured that out whenever they, dug down and the soil was saturated all in that area, because that's one of the other underflows. And that turns into oil, basically.
So you guys should have the copy of the change order there, to look through it. Anybody have questions on?
Jason, was this a, community crossings project holdover from 24?
No, this,
It was 24, it was a, 24-2.
Yeah.
Submitted project, it got awarded in. The funds were awarded in December. And then we did a, I think the contract was dated sometime in March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, so yes.
It's all put about-
Yeah, it's, you can see at the top there, it's a 2024-2.
That was around second round.
That was the second round
Okay.
of the community crossings in 24. So anyhow, that's,
Do you think-
basically, that's the first change order. There will be another one when they finish up. There'll be a little more stone and some things on there. And then also I did authorize them to, when they poured basically that 90-degree curve this week, Monday and Tuesday, I think. And in order to be able to do that, it was the same type of thing. We didn't want to drive all those concrete trucks across the subgrade, which was crap to start with. So I did authorize them to use a pumper truck, to bring a pumper truck in and to pump that concrete in as opposed to driving across that subgrade. So there will be on that next change order, there will be a cost for that pumper truck to come in.
Do you think we fixed that subgrade? Do you think?
It was a lot better. The trucks were still moving a little bit, but when we first drove a truck on it, even after we had put some of the stone in, trucks were still sinking this much. And by the time we did some more geogrid and stuff, they were probably moving still about an inch. I mean, it was definitely getting better, but if you were to put a truck on what we originally, like once we got down to our subgrade, they would have probably got the truck stuck.
Yeah, it would have got
It
stuck.
was bad.
How thick is that concrete? How thick would?
It's 10 inches
back?
now
That's
and the
reason
previous,
concrete.
Okay.
the previous wasn't that thick and it held up. So, I
Okay.
mean, we feel confident in what we did with the combination of the 10 inches of concrete that we shouldn't have an issue. So,
I'll make a motion to accept change order 1.
I'll second that.
Yeah, first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
okay, thank you. The next one is change order for Rivertown contracting. And that's basically for, thought I printed that one. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, it is. It's a deduct change order. So I like to bring those to you that we get money back or save money on. But that was for Community Crossing 2024-01. That was for Clay Street and for Second Street. When Rivertown got those two projects done and we ran all the final numbers, we did have save, what was it, $5,184.70. So we need, even though it's a deduct, we still have to present the change order and have acceptance for that. So questions on that change order?
I'll make the motion for change order 3.
I'll second that.
We got a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Another thing that we talked about at the last meeting was the Second Avenue ditch cleaning. I did send that out for quotes. I got 4 separate quotes back for that. My recommendation to the board would be to use Cooper Contracting for that. Basically, just so you understand what I did was I asked for an hourly price for a piece of equipment and an operator, and then their mobilization costs to move in and out. So basically I took those 2 numbers and put them together. And that was how I come up with who the low contractor was. And like I said, that was, Cooper Contracting. Basically, they were at $130 per hour for the piece of equipment and an operator to clean that ditch. So it's basically up to us as to how long that takes or how far we go with that price. So questions on any of that?
When's that work? You gonna do that next spring? Or
We may work on it here, depending on if the weather is good enough, we may do it now. I've talked to, Brady Blessinger at Cooper, and they were gonna get together and see if they had what their time schedule looked like. So I'd rather do it now before the grass is growing again and back up, in the ditch, get it cleaned off and get it, put back the way it needs to be. So if there's no questions on that, I will proceed with letting them know to go ahead with it.
we need a motion.
I'd make a motion to approve Cooper Contracting.
I'll second that.
We got a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I think I mentioned already, but I'll re-mention it. Rudolph is done now with their community crossing portion of all the projects that they had. They finished 7th Street, Jackson Street's finished, and Argem Street is finished. The street department needs to go back in on Jackson and on 7th and do some backfill behind the curbs and things like that yet. So we'll take care of that, get that done. Then I guess the last thing, we did apply for community crossing projects in July of this past year. It did come out that we were awarded, we applied for we put in 3 applications. One of them was for Rejuve, which we did this past time. And the other 2 were for street projects. We were awarded one of the 3 applicants that we sent in. That's happened previously about maybe 1 or 2 times in the 10 years that, or however long community crossing's been going on, where we've been awarded partial. And then there was years that we didn't get anything. I feel like the reason that we only got partial this year was NDOT went from having $300 million to award to people in the state to $100 million. So they cut out a third. And if you do the math, we got a third of basically what we applied for. So I don't feel like it was anything that we did wrong. I just feel like that was the numbers crunches, the way that it happened. So we did, like I said, we did get one. We'll be moving rather rapidly on it. We only used to have 4 months to get it under contract. Now we have 3. So by March of next year, March 1st, we have to have it under contract. So Cash Wagner will work on getting all that stuff together. Basically, I guess I just need to, I don't know if I need permission or whatever to proceed with sending plans and all that, but that's where we're at. Next step is to be permission to send it out for bid, basically. It was application number 1. It was 4th Street over here from Washington to Van Buren. It was 8th Street from Washington to Shelby. And it was Foxtrot Court out there off of Cherry Ridge, the little cul-de-sac area back there. So those are the 3. And basically, just so you understand too, what we have to do when we submit those applications, we have to break them down into work type. And those 3 had the same work type as application 2. Those streets had a different work type. Basically what that means is we were doing something different on those 3, so we couldn't put them all together. The state makes you break them out into work types. So
all 3 of these streets were approved?
Yes.
To be Rejuve Tech.
No. Rejuve Tech was application 3. That had like 35 streets on it. That didn't get approved. So it was just these 3 streets, and these 3 streets have, they have some deep patching on them, and they have whatever, different line items, but basically paving, but some other stuff. Questions on that? So I just need approval then
Do we need a
to
motion
send that
for
to
him?
bid.
Price to bid that project?
I'll make the motion for him to bid the project.
I'll second.
Got a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And the last parting thing that I have is just wanted to mention that Frank Parsons, a gentleman that has been working with the street department for roughly 5 years on a part-time basis, has decided that he's going to retire for a second time. He retired from his full-time job, came to work for us for, like I said, like 5 years. He has elected to retire again. So just want to thank Frank for his service for the last 5 years or so. He's been the guy that comes in and mows and just kind of does whatever he was asked to do. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Jason.
Jason, curbing on 10th Street and drainage. When do we expect that to be completed?
Are you talking about the project
Yes.
Steinkamps?
Yes,
You're talking about specifically the time camps.
yes.
You're talking about so you can get in and out of your
Correct.
lot. Yeah, I talked to Glenn yesterday about that, probably next week. We called the locate in on it, yesterday. The locate will be good on Monday. The reason we have to have a locate is we're gonna run a new field tile down along the south side of that road to keep water from getting underneath the new road. Cause there's a lot of water comes off the Steinkamps buildings there. So we're gonna run that field tile, and as soon as that field tile's run on that side, then we're gonna start pouring all those little pieces back in between the curb and Steinkamps lots, basically. And then we've got a patch to do that the gas department did. It's up by the gate, I think. Yeah, so that'll be, that should be done. If the weather cooperates, at the end of next week will be done.
What part of Second Avenue ditch? Who's that at?
We're starting at, Geiger and going all the way to, Van Buren.
Alrighty, wastewater superintendent Brad Coomer.
Good morning.
Morning.
Any questions on the report? Nope. Reynolds did do a big pour yesterday, 160 yards overhead. If you do go down there, they got plastic and heaters, and they've been heating, concrete and keep everything temperature controlled since Monday afternoon. They'll be doing that probably till tomorrow evening. And then next week they'll be moving to the north side to pour a overhang sidewalk. So if you'll have heaters going on 24/7 down there too. So somebody asked, that's what's going on. I think I got 1.6 million BTUs of heat going in. So a lot going on. One thing I would like to do is furniture for the second floor of the chemical building. I went out for quotes. They should be attached. And Tom, I do have an email where I did have 3. But I would like to go with OFS for $23,385. And one quote from Huffman's attached there. If you look, it's like 24,000 if you do all the furniture that OFS quoted.
I don't think that was, the Huffman quote is really the Ethernet or the Ethernet. Under Huffman, it's not Huffman's quote. I don't know where that is.
Not on-
Minus that it's the.
Yeah, you got electronic equipment
Electronic
underneath,
equipment, yeah.
Yeah.
underneath the Huffman late name.
Do I? It should
Yeah.
be
Mhm.
below that. I can send it to you if you need it.
But it's low, OFS was lower. That's
Yes.
close to them.
That got mixed up. Got it here if you want to see it. The Huffman. I can send it to you, Tom, too, but
Tom will probably. need it.
one low?
OFS was low.
Was,
If you do apples to apples for the furniture.
When's the plant completion again? Is it in next year or 27?
Completion for division, the first division, not the centrifuge, is June of 26. Hopefully in the April area will be startup time, but then we got the centrifuge to go after that, so.
That's why I was wondering if this is way ahead of time. So no, it's not.
No, and that's why you see all the internet equipment on there and the phones and the racking too that Rob has been working on. We're just trying to get all that stuff in so we can get it set up and ready for startup.
so the money for this, that's all included in the project already?
This will be, hopefully at the end, we can get reimbursed through RD.
Okay.
We got the 3 quotes, so we can go from there. We didn't put it in the project just because we run it through in-house is probably cheaper, but. So I
I'll
guess
ma-
I need two motions, one for the equipment for the furniture for OFS, and then the other one, that quote did change, $11,046 for all the phones and network equipment from Emerge.
That's not the one we're looking at on here.
Yes, yes.
That's under
It
the
is that-
Huffman, it's under the Huffman tab.
Yeah.
It's the-
And what's that company?
Emerge, Cisco, that's who the city buys all their internet, phones, equipment from.
Okay,
I believe that's the only quote he got because it's the only one that's consistent with our system.
okay.
So you Alright.
have the revised quote.
Yes, I can send that. Rob sent it to me yesterday, so. They've been going back and forth and changing it, so. That's the latest one is $11,046.44.
I will make a motion to accept the furniture quote from OFS.
I'll second that.
Dan?
First and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
I'll make a motion for the Hoffman office supply to approve it.
Actually, that's the Emerge.
Emerge.
Yeah, the Emerge,
It's under
sorry.
Huffman.
Oh, that's under-
Yeah, that
Should be
name is wrong.
Emerge.
Oh, okay.
Communication and networking.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'll second that.
all right, we got a first and second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Cool, thank you.
thanks, Brad.
And then I would like to permission to seek quotes for 2 things. One is a sludge holding area, which is the drying bed area just north of the centrifuge building where that's going. Basically, we're gonna turn 2 drying beds into a holding area. So I want to get quotes on doing a 6 or 8 foot wall on the south side and the east side. And then we'll do quotes for 2 separate quotes, one for the wall and then one for possibly the floor. We may do the floor in-house if we can, save some money, but then also get quotes on putting a roof over the 2 drying beds.
I'll make a motion to approve, to get the quotes. Go from there.
I'll second.
We got first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Cool, thank you. Then I would also like permission, get a quotes on add another truck to our fleet, another 1/2-ton crew cab truck to have down there.
I'll make that motion to see quotes.
Second, is that in your budget for next year?
Yes.
I'll second it.
Got a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions planned or anything? No? Cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. Police Chief Kramer.
Good morning.
Morning.
Any questions on the report? No questions? Okay. The first thing I've got is our body worn or utility. Now it's called Core Force. They've merged with a different company. So once we get that information, I'll get that to you, Tom. But, essentially in 2020, when we signed our first contract, it's a 5-year contract. We signed it 198,884. Earlier this year, I started getting prices for our new contract, which starts next year, early part of next year. And they came in at 259,000 flat. So over the course of the last couple months, been talking with them, negotiating with them. It's now at $208,240, which over a 5-year contract breaks it down to $44,808 per year. And then we would be under contract until 2030. My intentions as far as funding is to go to the RDC board for the first 3 years to get that funding while we get through these next three years. And then I'll get the other 2 years out of our budget going forward from there. So and this is a system that we've obviously had for the last 5 years. Any problems that we've ever had as far as issues with equipment, just call them. They'll send you a new piece, whatever it is, or they'll troubleshoot it over the phone immediately, even through the middle of the night. We can do a lot on our end to try to troubleshoot it. But obviously we have to sleep. So we tell them to call in, in the middle of the night, and they'll fix it over the phone. And if they can't, then they send us a new unit. And then we get it installed fairly quickly once we get it. So, but we haven't had a lot of issues with them. So basically just asking for permission to sign this contract and get it sent back to them.
I'll make the motion for you to move forward with this.
I'll second it.
And this is obviously contingent on RDC approving the funding. So I'm not gonna sign it until I know that funding's there. So just to let you guys know.
We got first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I did.
The next thing I've got is the Durango quotes. I got 3, one from John Jones, one from Washington Chrysler, and then one from Sternberg's. The John Jones, they refuse to accept our trade-in the way we trade our vehicles in. They want them fully equipped. We don't do that. We reuse the good equipment that we have into the next car. That way we can save money on that end of it. They want everything given to them at next to nothing. So they refused to accept the trade-in. They still gave us a quote. So I'm not recommending them, obviously, but Sternberg's was the low bidder by a couple $100, $40,465. That's the first time in 5 or 6 years that they've outbidded Washington. And it's just by a couple $100. So I don't care if we go to Washington or Sternberg's. It's whatever you guys recommend. I'll do. So we've never had bad luck with vehicles from either one of them. However, we do our service with Washington. So.
What do you guys think?
What do you recommend?
I mean,
They, you
If they-
take them up there for service, they're not gonna give you a hassle if you buy it from Sternberg's, are they?
No, in the vehicles that we have that we've bought from Sternberg's before, we still take them to Washington. Glenn, one of the co-owners, he's been really good to us as far as taking care of everything. So they pick them up from the office and they drive them up there and then he brings them back and drops them off. I mean, it's better than us driving an hour and then driving another hour and then another hour to go get it and then another hour to come back. So
Can't you just service here, Jasper?
we can. I can talk to you after the meeting about that one.
Yeah.
We ran into some issues with that. And it's more or less throwing parts at it that we've had with them. So we've had good luck with Washington Chrysler, as far as service goes. And I'd like to stay there if we can. As far as where we purchased the vehicle, either one doesn't bother me, Washington or Sternberg's.
I mean, I think if they're picking the vehicles up and dropping them back off, I mean, I know they're a couple $100 more, but maybe we should go with that one. If they're, they're saving the city quite a bit of money by us not having to take them up.
They're saving us a lot of time, a lot of manpower to drive those vehicles up there and then
But
we
they
don't
would,
have to sit there and wait on them.
but they would do that anyway, even if you bought from Sternberg's?
Correct.
I know it's only a couple $100, but if we start
That's
disregarding the lowest bid, then you're gonna have people not wanting to bid. They're gonna say, well, Honeyberg doesn't, they've got their preferred bidders, providers, vendors, and they won't honor the low bid anyway. So
Okay.
I just caution you about that.
I tried that once. Didn't work.
Yeah, and like I
Right,
said,
now, if there's a real reason, a financial reason to choose other than the lowest bidder, then yeah. But otherwise, you're just discouraging competitive bidding.
What's the timeline difference in delivery? Is there any?
they both have to order them. So it's just as soon as the factory can get them put in and made. So there's not really a difference when it comes to dealerships other than like John Jones, they buy in bulk and they have them on the lot, as to where these smaller dealerships like Washington and Sternberg's, they don't typically have them on the lot and they have to put them in and order them and build them. But I mean, I'll wait 2 months to save $7,000. So, cause we're trading in a 14 Charger. So, and it's a pool car at this time. It's not on the road.
Maybe you can talk to Sternberg about doing the same type of service. If we're doing something like this.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could. I mean, I don't know. We've not had good luck with their service, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna air that in a
I-
public meeting though.
I mean, I personally own their vehicles for years and the
Yeah,
service has been great for me. So
okay.
that doesn't mean the police, but
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
different, but yeah. So,
So either one, I mean, we can go with Sternberg's this year. I'm fine with that. Save a couple $100, but
I will make the motion to accept the bid from Sternberg's.
I'll second.
Got
Okay.
first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
all right. Last thing I got, request for Phil to draw up an agreement for off-duty compensation agreement for Officer Shin, with the K-9. We have one for Jorge, to take care of Romeo. And then basically the exact same agreement for Shin, with K-9 Chaos. And I did put that in for next year's budget. So.
You need a motion to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll make the motion for Phil to write that up.
Bill,
Second.
will I need to bring that back?
Yeah, I was
Let's-
gonna say, he's gonna bring it back anyway for your final approval with the
Oh, okay.
numbers in it and everything.
Okay.
Got a first and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. Any other questions? That's all I got. Thank you.
Thanks, chief.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey, everybody, I apologize, but I've got a doc
Okay.
appointment in Evansville that I need to make sure I get to, so.
Be safe.
Uh,
Okay, see you later. Be
Thank you.
safe, buddy. All right.
Sorry, chief, fire chief, but I gotta,
That's all
all
right.
right, thank you.
See you, Carly.
Which jacket? Which jacket?
Alrighty, Fire Chief Heim.
Do you have any questions on the report?
Got your two Lucas devices?
Yep.
Yeah, good
Yep,
deal.
and they're in trucks, and so we have 3 available, and the quickest one there is, that's the whole point. So we raised quite a bit of money, and then initially we were just looking at getting one, but the restricted opioid funds is kind of hard to spend, and we found we could spend it on this because it's one of the key things on an overdose is keeping the CPR going. So we were able to partner with the city on that, and whatever money we raised, we gave to Tom, and then the city purchased the 2. So
I
turned
just
out
re- I
turned
just
out better than we were hoping. So
Just recently found out from one of your firemen that I didn't know your pickup actually serves as a
it's a medical truck.
medical truck. I
Yeah,
didn't realize
and
that.
it normally rotates with the officers.
So it's
and-
in the hands and stuff on the weekends and stuff, so
Mhm.
they go right there. They don't have to
Yeah,
go to the station for it. That's pretty cool.
if there's not any questions, I do have one item that's not on the report. Our rescue truck 731 has a transmission leak. And it's fine to drive, but when we engage the PTO, which runs our generator, which runs our lights, which is probably one of the nicest lights in the county, for night scenes, it just starts spewing fluid. So our mechanic at Styline, he looked at it, and there's three basic scenarios, and I have 3 different quotes. They're not from Styline. He says it's an Allison transmission. It's 27. It'll be 27 years old next month. And so he recommended Clark out of Henderson. But I have 3 different quotes, and then what I'm looking for, I'm still gonna go out and get other quotes, but I'm kind of looking for some guidance because it's not cheap. The first quote is for $4,800, $4,854, and that's basically kind of taking it apart, retapping, but our mechanic doesn't think that's it, because when he pulls the bolts out, there's not metal shavings that would typically be in something in that, if that were the case. So the other one would be to basically pull the transmission out, install it, and take the transmission apart, install the new housing, and then put it back together. And that's $6,400, $6,414. And then the third one would be just to put a new Allison transmission in, which is why he recommended Clark, because they're certified Allison transmission mechanics. So warranty wise, and that one came to $9,300. I'm sorry. Let me do that again, because I didn't include the second one was $72.92, and the third one, the new transmission, is $10,300. And that would be the new transmission, which
Is that labor too?
that's everything.
So you've talked with Clark?
No, I have not, because I figured I'd probably have to get some other quotes. Yes, it does include Allison miscellaneous general labor. I figured
what I'm looking for here is some guidance, but also if because this is our most run truck, it has been ever since we got it. It runs a little bit less than it used to, but it goes to every wreck, every fire call that we have. It goes to some of the medical runs. It is one of our medical trucks, but we try to use our pickup and our smaller trucks. It's just more convenient. But when time is of the essence, it does go on medical runs. So I'm looking for permission to go get some more quotes, kind of look at it and do best judgment, or which route you want to go. You want to try to rebuild or just put a new one in? How much do you want to spend? This would be a truck that we would consider to be one of our next replacements. And so, but that's still 2, 3, if we said today and put an order in, it's still 2, 3, 4 years away. So we have to make this truck last. So I'm just kind of looking for some guidance here. So, cause
Well, if you take it somewhere and they pull it out, can't they make a recommendation to either rebuild it or, once they take it apart?
I think so. I think they could probably take it out and say, okay, now that we have it out, this is what we recommend.
That's gotta get done fairly quick, doesn't it, since that's your most used truck? You don't want it down.
That's the complicated part. If we take it to Henderson, we have to offload all the equipment on it because we still have emergencies that we'll have to figure out. Even if we took it somewhere local, Styline's really not too interested in it because of, it'd be nice if they would, because then if we had something, we could just run to the shop and get it off the truck and go. But that's the hard part, is trying to make this as a quick a turnaround as we can to get that truck back up in service. It's not like we have a backup rescue truck that hauls all of our stuff. If it was a pumper, no big deal. We have 3 other pumpers, but it's the rescue. It's a unique vehicle.
I'm not real familiar, rebuild a transmission. I know sometimes they can be done and last a long time, but man, this is fire protection and safety. I'd be for replacing it.
I
I
agree
would
with
lean
that.
towards just replacing it.
I can get some other quotes. Can I get permission to get quotes and then take the best offer and go?
Check back, would Styline be willing to go that route if?
They might be
if they-
because it's less messy.
Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking too. So might check with them and see, cause I'd be more willing to replace it than rebuild it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do I need to do here, Phil?
Well, yeah, it's gonna be under
Because I'm kind of-
25,000.
It is gonna be over 10,000.
It's gonna be under 25,000, so you could authorize them to get 3 quotes and authorize the lowest quote for a new transmission. Is that what you're
Yeah,
proposing?
that's way I would run, I think. Yeah,
Okay,
I'll make the motion.
okay.
Yep.
And then once I do that, I have permission to get it fixed then?
Yes.
Okay,
So your motion is, to replace the transmission
To
that the
replace
state
yes,
and for him to take the lowest bid.
right.
and then I'll report back in January what happened.
All right, we got a first and a second, all in favor? Aye.
Dan,
Dan. Opposed?
Okay. Any other questions?
Mm-mm.
Thank you.
Stoney. Fire Director Paul Lake.
Good morning. Any questions on the reports? One thing I do need to ask the board today is on the 422 North Jackson Street. That's the one that at our last meeting, we talked about going out for bids for demolition. It is being advertised as we speak. There's a pre-bid meeting next Wednesday morning, and then an anticipated bid opening on the 17th of this month. What that means is I'll need to establish a bid committee for when we open the bids on the 17th. I believe that's, Tom, I can't remember, is that 10 o'clock or not? Yeah.
We usually set it for 10. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I'm not positive, but
I didn't do that. So.
yeah. Phil, what's the makeup of the bid committee
Well,
typically?
typically you have the mayor, the clerk treasurer and the department head, so.
Okay.
it'll be Paul, Neil and Tom. That's,
I will make the motion to make it as such, the mayor,
Okay.
Tom and Paul.
I'll second that. We got a first and a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay, thank you.
When's the, pre-bid?
Pre-bid meeting is next Wednesday morning. I will email everybody the time for it as well as the bid opening, just so you
Okay.
have that for your record
All right,
once I get
thank you.
back down there.
Thank you.
And Phil, tomorrow morning over at the DuBois County Courthouse, there's a status report meeting with the courts on, our hoarding violation. And Phil, anything that you want to add to that?
no, other than, the judge wants to hear the status of the cleanup, tomorrow. And, I believe code enforcement officers will be investigating that and, provide the court with a report tomorrow. Pictures and whatever's necessary to demonstrate to the court what the status of that, that compliance is.
Any other questions? If not, thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Safety Director Andrea.
Good morning.
Morning.
Any questions on the report? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. City Attorney Phil Snyder,
I have nothing further.
Clerk Treasurer Tom,
Nope.
board items.
One, have we mailed paperwork on a new bid for, getting new bids for the roof?
I don't.
anything?
Well, yeah, we had to, we okayed it last meeting to put that back to bid.
You
I
have
just-
to advertise it.
It hasn't done yet.
I just need direction as to what to do. Tom and I actually talked about it the other day. Do we need new specs? Is there a new spec?
I don't know what your specs were. If what you're wanting to bid is a metal roof, a new metal roof, is that what it is? Then we'll need specs for that.
I thought it was all the alternatives,
That's kind of what I thought too. But-
patching.
Yeah.
New.
Yeah, I don't know what the specs
We
said.
have,
I don't.
we have to have, and Phil, you correct me if I'm wrong, but we have to have a base bid, and then we can have alternatives,
Mhm.
alternates for that base bid. So we need to know what the base bid's gonna be, and then what we wanna do for the alternate bids.
Well, if we're gonna go back out for bid, I think the board is leaning towards a full replacement rather than any kind of patchwork, aren't they? I mean, I think it's a waste of time.
I
if we-
agree.
It's a waste of time
Yeah.
if we haven't bid like what they did before, because I don't think we'd approve that. I think we, as a board, we want to do full replacement.
So we'll have to draw up a set of plans for replacement
Yes.
I think that's the direction that we wanna go.
with the alternates to do whatever.
I think the base bid needs to just be full replacement. Cause I don't want you to waste your time again, to put that all together.
Okay, I have a question and maybe you can answer this. We put that to bid before and the TPO was the bid, right?
The first time it was a full replacement, the last time it was TPO.
Okay, but we had alternates. So if you do an alternate and somebody would have put in a bid for a full metal roof, but there were no specs for a full metal roof, it was just considered an alternate, would.
Yeah, I mean, under public contracting law, you've got to have plans and specs for anything over $100,000.
Right,
And we anticipate this being more than $100,000.
Right.
So if you want an alternate bid for full replacement, if that's your alternate, then you have to have plans and specs for that. You have to have plans and specs for your base, and if you're going to have a couple of different alternates, then there has to be plans and specs for each of those alternates.
right. So if we would have got a bid for a full metal replacement on the last bid, we
Probably-
we
probably-
could not have accepted
Probably couldn't have
that.
because you didn't have any specs for it. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Right, Thank you.
So what, are you working with Universal Design on this? Okay, so what's the direction he needs to give Universal Design? Full replacement spec?
Full replacement
And
spec.
then any other alternatives? Alternates?
I don't think us as
I
a
don't think
board
so.
wants to do anything other than full replacement.
Yeah, I mean, you could have an alternate for the TPO, you can have an alternate for a different type of metal. You can have the alternates, I think you can kind of split out, but if you, like Phil said, if you split out an alternate for a TPO, you have to have specs and
Yeah,
plans,
that's right.
which we already have
Mhm.
from past ones that we did. So, I mean, we can make this a pretty elaborate set of plans that has a base bid and then elaborate alternates. And then the board can look at the bottom line and say, okay, this one's way out of range, this one's closer, and then you can determine there how you want to go.
I think,
I mean, if that's what you want me to do, I just need to know what I need to do when I go to sit down with Universal Design and say, here's what we want to come up with this set of plans. And how we want the base bid, the alternates and that type of thing. That's what I did. That's the direction of, is that right?
That's
Phil?
right, yeah.
That's basically what I need to go to them and say, you know,
I
and
think-
then once they can get all that done, then we can start the process of advertising it and that type of thing.
I think we'd like to see a base bid with full replacement, right, as a board?
Okay, I'm just asking questions because I don't know. We make up specs and the spec says a standing seam roof. And somebody puts in a bid with an R panel roof. No,
Well, it's not, it's not,
that's similar. Is that,
it's not a qualified bid because it's not, responsive to your request, your plans.
okay,
Now, could you
Now,
make that?
you
an
could make
alternate?
that an alternate. So if you make it an alternate, then it would be, responsive to your request for bids, your solicitation for bids. But a bid has to be responsive to what you're advertising and what you put out as specs. It has to be responsive to it.
okay.
So
You want me to put the base bid as the full replacement with what type of roof? Standing seam, what's on there?
Yeah, kind of what's on there.
yeah,
I think they call it an R panel.
I just,
Is that right,
I'll
Glenn?
do that,
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean, I'm preserved to do that, because that roof that's on there didn't last 20 years. Cause when the building was built, I did a lot of research on it, but if that's what you want, we'll do the base bid with the R panel, an alternate with the standing seam, and an alternate with TPO. I think that's probably about the
I
only
think so.
options we got.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
so.
well, I was on the roof with contractor. And honestly, he told me the metal is not that bad a shape up
No,
there.
not,
It's-
a lot of places it's not.
It's the screws.
Yeah.
And then more so than that is the vents. Cause if you go up there, you can peel your caulking and stuff up and you can just watch the water run. Most of the water up there is coming in around the vents. That's what I'm seeing and what I was told with looking at it. So that's gonna be a big thing of that, making sure, around them vents is a big problem.
Well, there's no doubt.
Yeah,
I've been up
yeah,
there about 6 times, with
yeah.
different contractors. and they
Yeah.
all said that, you know, the vents are the problem and the screws are the problem,
Yeah.
so. But yeah, if that's the route that you want me to go, that's what I'll do. Those three, with the base bid with the R panel roof, then the standing seam roof, and then the TPO overlay.
I'm good with that.
Does he need a motion for that, Phil, or just,
Yeah, well, he needs direction. He needs direction to what to tell Universal and
Okay, well, I'll make the motion then, like we had, like you said.
It'll be,
I got it here.
Okay.
Okay.
so
I'll-
Messinger? Okay.
I'll second it. We got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Thanks for bringing that up, Carrie. All right, do we have any citizen items?
You want to know?
You,
You want to speak? Yeah.
all right, go ahead and come up here, Al.
I know this is kind of a later deal than, but I didn't know that I should come and talk to you people, but in July, I was mowing the church grass, which we take turns doing it up at Northside Christian Church. But my lawnmower caught on fire, and a guy that's lived over in one of the apartments, he hollered at me and said, "You better get off that." He said, "It's on fire." Well, I got off and I called 911 for fire department, and there's two women come over with had just kitchen pot with water. They threw on there and they put it out. I mean, this took 2 or 3 minutes. And so I called 911 again and canceled the fire. And but anyhow, I mean, the fireman came and the fire truck and all, which was fine. But then when we stood around there and talked for about 15 minutes, or maybe even a little longer, and I don't know who it was. It was one of the firemen came with a fire extinguisher type that sprayed foam. And I said, "Well, what are you doing?" He said, "Just make sure we don't have to come back for another fire run." I said, "Well, we've canceled the fire run." I said, but anyhow, then he took the oil cap off and squirted it down in the motor. And it was just plastic and my seat, what was really burnt. But I told him, I said, "Don't do that." I said, "We want to see about this motor." Well, said, "We don't want to come back for another fire." And I said, "We've canceled this one. I said, you're going to ruin that motor." And he just kept squirting it. Well, then afterwards, I got a hold of 3 different people. And they said, "We won't touch that motor. We'll replace it. We aren't going to tear it down because it's ruined." And I talked to Glenn, about it. And he said, "Yeah," he said, it's ruined. But anyhow, it's $3,500 just for the motor. I mean, I still have the motor. I mean, we were going to rebuild it. I mean, the plastic stuff was under $1,000 to put all new plastic on and the seat. But, it just ruined the lawnmower, and that wasn't with the 3,500. That wasn't anybody changing it or, and I'm not a mechanic, never wanted to be one. I mean, I have any mechanic stuff done, but I just think that since we canceled it and the fire was out and been out for at least 15 minutes. And then he came and, which wouldn't have been bad, just spraying the outside. But when he took the oil cap off and stuck that down in, that just ruined the motor. So, I mean, you know, I'm just out of a lawnmower. And I mean, it was a dang good lawnmower. It was a John Deere. And so, I mean, I just think that somebody needs to be responsible for it other than me. And that's all I have.
We can, we'll look, I'll look into it. We'll get back with you on it.
Okay.
Got anything
Yeah, I
else?
said something to the mayor and he said, well, he said, well, the church ought to have insurance. You know, we do it for nothing. You know, it's just different members do it for a month. And so, but I was just lucky enough that my son-in-law had a mower that I was able to finish mowing with and mowed the rest of the month with his mower. And then I finally ended up buying one, but I mean, that was to buy another John Deere was going to be $18,000. And I bought another one that was $9,000, but not a John Deere.
I think, Donnie, you can put your 2 cents worth in, but you really can't cancel a call. Once you do a 911 call, it has to follow through, right?
I wasn't at this run.
Okay.
I'm actually looking to, I don't know the things behind it. Sometimes you can call it, but they may not cancel it. And so that I don't know. But again, I'm trying to look up the report. I don't know anything about this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when I called it back, this lady that I talked to on the phone, she said, now, you know, this is a Saturday. And she said, every one of them firemen's gonna be there. She said, it's not gonna make any difference. And sure enough, I mean, you know, we had a good turnout, you know, but, you know,
We'll
that's
look,
all I have.
we'll look into it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Al. Anything else from anybody? Any other citizen items? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thanks, everybody.
Oh, Don and all you guys got any? Well, I appreciate that. Tomorrow.